Hi friends! I'm currently in Thailand for a vacation and I'm sorry if it's a bit loud because the hotel room is not very quiet and you can hear the street. But yeah, I can't really change something about that, so I'm sorry. I actually wanted to tell you about my language school exam results. I didn't do that in the last vlog because it was quite long already and I was also still waiting for all the grades. So let's start with the final tests for the term, and as I told you, there were quite a lot and they didn't put the kanji exam separately, so I guess it's maybe part of vocabulary. We wrote 8 in total, excluding the graduation exam, which we did separately and which is also listed separately. So in the grammar exam I got 85 points out of 100 and the average was 50.16, so I'm well above the average, which is nice. And I would say I'm pretty happy about that because grammar is usually my weak point. I'm happy that I improved and I actually spent quite a lot of hours studying grammar, so maybe that's also why. Then vocabulary, which I don't really understand, to be honest. It's 76 out of 100. The average is 48.97. So again, well above the average, but it's my worst grade, which I wasn't expecting because I think in the vlog I said I felt like it was the best exam I had, so that's a bit strange. And also now I'm not sure if they counted all the tests we did because I got 95 to 100% on a lot of tests, so I couldn't have only gotten like 50 points in the exam, so I don't know. But then again, they never really told us what the final grade is made up of, so I have no idea, and so does no one, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't matter, so that's okay. And then reading, I have 100 out of 100. Yay, 110. And the average was 61, so a bit better than the other exams. And I'm very happy about that because I expected to have 1 or 2 questions wrong, maybe, because there were 2 choices that felt good, but yeah, I didn't really know which one was the better one, but apparently I chose right. Then listening, I have 87 out of 100 and the average is 64, which is also very good because also listening I'm not the best at. Well, I was not the best at, but I feel like it improved quite a bit because I listened to Japanese every day in school. And then writing, which was very surprising. I got 100 out of 100 and the average was 49. So apparently I understood the topic correctly, and even though I didn't finish my last sentence, I guess it was good enough because no one really finished their essay in 30 minutes. I'm also happy about that. Even though I felt like the essay I wrote did definitely not show my skills. I could write way better if I would have had more time, but yeah, again, I'm happy about the points. And then for the presentation, which I did not expect, I got 100 out of 100 points and the average points are 43.43. So yeah, a lot of people got not good grades apparently. Yeah, because she got very angry at the end and she was like, oh, everything is just made from ChatGPT and the whole class was very bad. So I didn't expect that, but okay, yeah, sure, I'll take that. And then speaking, I got 90 out of 100 and the average points are 44.15. Again, I'm positively surprised. I guess the way she reacted was just, I don't know, nothing to think about too deeply. I thought because she didn't really smile or say anything at the end that it was just okay. I also felt like I could have done better and I was quite nervous to do it with her. It was better than I expected, the final grades, except the vocabulary one. And then we come to the graduation exam, which I told you was probably at least N2 level and everyone had to take it, even my boyfriend who's N5 level, and we had just to guess a lot, but also in the vocabulary, grammar, reading and kanji part, which was one whole part together, I actually had a few things I understood. So I got 202 out of 440 points, so not even half. And the average points are 115.34. So apparently it was way too hard. And as I said before, it just felt like a huge waste of time, even now seeing the average points. I don't understand why we had to do such a difficult exam. And then listening, I got 155 out of 500 and the average points are 151.17. Yeah, so again, above the average points, yay! But I guessed 90% of the listening, So did my boyfriend, and he got 160 points, so even better than me. So he's a better guesser. Or like he had more luck. They only put in the grade for the final exam even after we graduated, so it didn't really change anything, and it also doesn't appear on our graduation certificate. I will put a video here for the certificate because of course I don't have it with me in Bangkok. It looked pretty cool. I was surprised that we got, you know, the whole fancy thing. I thought we just get a piece of paper and that's it, you know, without the cover thing, which looked pretty nice. So school is officially over and I don't have to deal with anything anymore. Even though I'm a bit bummed I didn't get the Tobida textbook because apparently they wanted to use it with us during the time I attended school. And I also had to pay, you know, the textbook fee beforehand, but I didn't get any money back, nor did I get the book. Maybe I will ask and be like, hey, where's my book? Because I would like to have it. And it feels kind of unfair because when I watched Maddie's review about YDC, she also said that they didn't go through all the textbooks they wanted. And she got like a huge stack of textbooks from her sensei to go through alone. But I guess I'm gonna ask. And I also never received the feedback on my pronunciation test. So I guess I should ask for that as well, because what's the point if I never get the result? But yeah, that's it when it comes to school. And for this vlog, I actually wanna do mainly a reading vlog, even though I read quite a bit during the exams and stuff. So I got more reading in than in the last months. I still want to read more. So I brought quite a few with me. So I have the 11th and 12th volume of Ojisama to Neko. I already finished this one on the plane and I started the 12th volume, but I still want to keep it for the plane ride back, I guess, or maybe in the evening when I just need something easier to read. Actually, I started quite a lot of books here, but that's fine. And then I have the +1 centimeter, which is written by a Korean author, and I saw it on Adi no Yume's Instagram account, and she seemed to like it a lot. And it's not really like a story or non-fiction book, it's more like little thought pieces, I guess, that are supposed to change the way how you think about your life. Also on the first couple of pages, the author said that sometimes you can't really put in more effort to change your circumstances because you're already putting in quite a lot of effort. And then what you have to do is to change your mind. So it's kind of about that and how you can do it step by step, because changing your mind and how you think in a short period of time and trying to think completely different is very hard and not really sustainable. So you're supposed to be inspired by reading all the different pages. There's a lot of cute artwork in there, and I'm already on page 44 and I just started it yesterday sitting by the pool. So I really enjoy it so far. Some pages I didn't take home that much new like information or new ideas, but there are already 4 pages that I marked to reference at a later day when I feel down or something. So I already like it quite a bit. And then I have the Honto no Yasumiho book, and I'm sorry you can't really see it, it's very white in the camera, but yeah, there's just a little cat on it because I left the jacket at home and I put a plastic cover around it so the white book doesn't get dirty. And I'm almost finished, I think. I only have 30 pages left, but I didn't want to take this to the pool because it's quite a difficult book for me. So I like to write all the translations next to the words and mark the words. So I didn't want to do that, of course, by the poolside. So when we will go to a cafe, like in the next couple of days, I will take it and I hope to finish it during the time here. And my mom is also very interested on everything I read in here because she also struggles with relaxation, as my whole family, but I guess a lot of people struggle with that. So yeah, I hope I can finish it and then tell her everything I learned from it. And then I also got another kind of thin book, and it's the Neko ga kureta shiawase no yakusoku, and it's very cute. I got it in Tokyo in a cat-themed store, and they only had cat-themed books and items and stuff. And I wanted to support the owner because he was a very old, cute Oji-san. And I also got a free little postcard from one of the cat islands, and it's about a famous cat from a magazine cover apparently, and about environmental protection and how the cat helps the main character to protect the environment in their area, I think. I read the synopsis quite a while ago, so that's everything I remember, but it seems quite easy. It also has full Furigana, so yeah, it's more like a children's book, I guess. It also doesn't have that many pages, 179, and the font is quite big. So I'm very excited to get into that as well, but we'll see if I actually have time. But yeah, I will update you in the next couple of days what I think about the books. So I hope it will be interesting. And now we're heading down to the pool and just lay by the poolside, read a little bit more before we head to breakfast. Even though my main focus was reading, I still did my kanji writing practice and also some of my Bonpro cards without any pressure, but I just wanted to review a few things so I won't forget everything. So usually in the morning I just sat down for a few minutes and did my reviews before heading out. Good morning! So yesterday I read next to the pool, as usual, my +1 centimeter book. I liked the first part, which was about breaking, and I marked a few things like some thought patterns I would like to adopt, but then after not a lot of pages, the love part started and I didn't really like it, I have to say. I'm not sure, maybe it's just me misunderstanding the subliminal messages or something, because my Japanese is not that great yet, but it felt a bit stereotypical sometimes, and because my relationships are usually not very stereotypical, it doesn't feel relatable to me so much. And I got the second book from the series, which is about love. So yeah, I hope I will like this one more than I like the part in this book. And now I'm on, I think, page 100 something already. 104, and it's the finding part. As always, the illustrations are quite cute, and it's very nice that you can, read through it so easily, or like not necessarily easily, but in a fast way. So it feels very accomplishing. And yesterday in the afternoon we went to a cafe and I read my Honto Yasumi Hu book, and then I didn't feel accomplished anymore, because of course this one doesn't really have a lot of pictures except for when a new chapter starts, and it's quite dense when it comes to text compared to this book. So it took me an hour to read 10 pages, which is not bad, of course, but it felt very different. I'm almost finished with that one. I only have 20 pages left, and it's just the afterthoughts of the author, so not as interesting as the main text before, but I still want to read it because maybe there's something I need to hear. For example, now he's talking about how it's okay not to want to see people, and it's okay to take things slow instead of fast, and the value of slowness compared to, the trend in society that everything has to be very fast and quick. And he outlined a lot of things where if you do them quickly, like healing a bone fracture or something, it would mess things up. So it was nice to read, especially for my brain that wants to do everything fast, fast, fast. So yeah, I still like the book. And when I finish it, I will give you more of my opinion on that. And yeah, we're gonna go through the pool again. So me and my mom. It's still morning, and she usually reads some online articles about health in German. So I will take the +1 centimeter book with me again. And yeah, let's see how far I will get. Last time I came here, like 2 years ago, I went to Books Kinokuniya because, of course, they sell Japanese books there, and it's hard for me to get Japanese books in Germany. And I also did a book haul. Now, it doesn't really make sense because, of course, I'm still living in Japan, and of course, Japanese books are the cheapest in Japan. I will still go to Books Kinokuniya today and look around. And I told myself I will not buy any books here because it doesn't make sense money-wise, but I can maybe fill up my wish list with some books that look interesting. And I think there are probably also other books on display because it's a different country, so maybe the target audience is a little bit different, so maybe they will showcase other books than in Japan. So I guess it's worth a visit. I will see if I can film some clips. I don't know if they allow it, but we'll see. It's already Friday, and yesterday I went again to Broccoli Revolution because it's one of my favorite restaurants here in Bangkok. And usually when I go, it's quite empty, which of course I like because this means it's very quiet and a good place to read. Of course, not very good for the restaurant, I guess. And I finished my Honto no Yasumiho book, and I'm very happy about it because it's the first book that I read without Furigana. And I was a bit worried before reading it if I could do it and how hard it would be, but I feel like it was fine because usually the books that I read before that had furigana, they still had quite a lot of words that I looked up and then I just typed in the furigana, but now I just had to draw the kanji and I was also able to look up all the words, so it's not that big of a deal. And I feel like it actually helps a bit more remembering certain kanji if I have to write them over and over again. At least I kind of know what they mean without really studying them. And I use the Shirabe Jishu app on my iPhone to look up the kanji, and it worked very well. So I'm very proud of myself for finishing it, and it took about 2 months with I think like 2 or 3 weeks break when I had all the exams and stuff. So I was actually able to read it quicker than I anticipated. And like the title says, it's about the proper way how to rest. And if you've watched some of my other videos, you would know I struggle a bit with resting because of hyperactive ADHD, yay, which I got diagnosed with about a year ago. So of course I wanna research and find things I can do to make it better. So I chose this book for that, and it was very interesting because of course from my nutrition studies in university I know about the sympathicus and parasympathicus, but it's also about the polyvagal theory, and this is also another way how to describe the body's reaction to stress. And it was actually very interesting because I guess we all know the fight, flight or freeze mode, and the book dove really deep into the freeze mode because that's what usually people nowadays experience when they withdraw from society and they don't feel anything anymore because of too much stress. The first half of the book was a bit slow, and the author also repeated himself quite a few times, but I also understand that not everyone knows the basics of physiology from their uni degree or something, so it makes sense probably to repeat it a few times. From I think the second half it was way more interesting, and it went into the theory of the basic pH, which talks about certain channels, how you can resolve stress. For example, physical, social, creativity, etc. And the author also gives a lot of examples what you could do in each channel and how to find the channel that suits you best, how to also develop another channel so you have multiple things to fall back on when you feel stressed. And I didn't hear that theory somewhere else before, so I was very happy about learning something new. I'm still undecided if I should give it 4 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. I feel like it was one of the first books I read in Japanese that really whipped me, and I wanted to finish it fast because of course I wanted to know all the solutions to my problem. I also took a lot of notes, so I will definitely work through them once more and try to figure out what to incorporate in my life. So I would definitely recommend it if you're in the market for a book on relaxation and how to lower your stress. And when it comes to reading books without furigana, there were some instances where I didn't know the word, but because of the kanji, I knew what it was supposed to mean. For example, learned helplessness. I read the kanji and I was like, wait, does this mean learned helplessness? And it did. And it was so nice. It was a very rewarding feeling of being able to figure things out without knowing the word, just from knowing the meanings of some of the kanji. It was definitely fun and, as I said, less overwhelming as I thought. But I'm reading the +1 centimeter book right now, which is also without furigana. I don't highlight the words I didn't know or write the translation next to it. And then sometimes I catch myself forgetting the words I looked up before when I'm at the end of the sentence because I have to look up like 3 words or something. Then I don't really get the meaning of the sentence and I have to look up the words again. So I like my method more that I used in that book, which was to write all the translations next to the words I didn't know and then highlight the words. And it was also interesting to see with the highlighting of the words that at the start, of course, I highlighted more words than towards the end. So that also means I was able to learn some of the words passively just through looking them up because they appeared quite a lot of times. I also encountered a lot of interesting vocabulary in that book. And of course, I saved all the words I didn't know in the Shirabe Jishu app. And I encountered, at least the ones that I saved, 1,800 141 unique words, because of course, even if I encounter a word 5 times, I can only save it once to the list. So a lot of new words, which is definitely a lot more than I encountered before. The book that had the most new words until now that I read was Josei to Tora to Sakanatachi, which had 1620 new words. It's always nice to see how many new words I encounter in every book that I read, and being able to find words that meet my criteria for learning, which is finding the same word in 5 different resources, and then I will add it to my favorites folder and then learn that word. And I also described the whole process in another video I will link at the top. Right now there are 168 words in my favorite folder, so quite a few to learn, and I already learned 87. I'm actually very happy to return to Japan, and tomorrow I will fly back, so tomorrow evening I will already be back in Japan. I don't think I said it before, but when I arrived here at the hotel last Saturday, I had a little cry, because even though I knew I wouldn't leave Japan for a long time, at least for now, because I'm only here for a week, it still felt like a permanent goodbye, kind of, because the reason I'm here is that originally I just wanted to stay for half a year in Japan, and then my mom was supposed to come to Japan, stay with me in Japan for a while, and then pick me up, you know, help me to get some stuff from Japan back to Germany and also see Japan. And since it's quite a long flight from Japan to Germany, we said, oh yeah, let's do a stop in Thailand and just relax a little bit before returning to Germany. So technically tomorrow I would have gone back to Germany if I would have stuck to my original plan. So in my head it felt like, okay, this is supposed to be my going back home trip, so I guess that's why I felt so sad. But yeah, as I said, I will return to Japan tomorrow. I just hope everything works out well, because when I left I had to fill out a form for a re-entry permission on my visa, and I'm a bit worried because my school has ended. I'm still on my student visa, but technically I don't have anything left to do in Japan, so technically, they could say, nah, we don't want you here anymore. But I talked to my school and they said I have the right to stay 3 more months after school on my visa. And even though they say they don't want me to stay, I have the right with the visa I got. But yeah, I have an uneasy feeling about not being let into the country again, but since there's already the stamp in my passport and they attached the second half of the form I filled out to the passport, I hope it means everything will go smoothly. It's kind of a little bit stressful, but I guess I'm just making it more stressful than it should be, or like has to be. I guess when I have to say goodbye in 2.5 months for real to, like, you know, all the people I got to know, it will be very sad. Oh, I already feel the tears coming, so I will not talk about that any longer. I'm not sure if I can say I don't want to leave, because there are some things I'm looking forward to, things I don't have in Japan but that I have in my life in Germany. But yeah, there will be so many people I will miss, you know, not being in Japan anymore. But yeah, that's life, I guess. Actually, I don't know if I said it before, but I kind of have the plan in my head to return to Japan in 2027 for, I don't know, a few weeks, depending on how much time I can get off work, and hopefully meeting some of the people again that I made friends with. But yeah, on a lighter note, I also went shopping yesterday and I got a few stickers, of course. So I went to Moshi Moshi and I got this cute one. Why is it so dark? And this one as well. It's very cute, and they were really cheap. They were just 10 baht each, so 25 cents. Of course, there are not a lot of stickers on there. And then I also went to Loft and I got some camping stickers and some cafe stickers. One like flower shop van sticker set, and also one with a lot of emotions for my Japanese notes. And I guess tomorrow in the plane I will film a few clips from reading my manga, so see you then. Actually, I didn't film anything in the plane because I just edited my language school review video for the whole flight, which was like 6 hours long. I mean, the flight, not the video, of course. But if you wanna check out the video, it's live now and it's also very long, I think 70 minutes or something. But yeah, getting back into Japan was surprisingly easy and quick, and I was very happy about that. Actually, waiting for my suitcase was the thing that took the longest amount of time. So all the worries were a bit much maybe, but yeah, after having my call with immigration before leaving and crying on the phone because they said you're not supposed to come back technically, it was very easy. And yeah, I don't really understand the rules and it feels a bit not nice, of course, to be not so welcomed, I guess, in the country you really like, but okay. Currently I'm trying to get back into a routine, and yesterday I went to Book Off to pick up a book that I ordered, and it's this one, which is called Anata no 24 jikan wa doko he kieru no ka? So, where are your 24 hours disappearing into, or like where are they? And it's about time management. Most of the books that I actually read in Japanese I saw on Ari no Yume's YouTube channel or like Instagram account. This as well, I think she had it in one of her like very early videos, and it's been on my wish list for forever. And even though she said it's like the basic time management techniques that are described, I still feel like even if I don't learn a lot and I know a lot of things already, it's very good for practicing the vocabulary or like for seeing the vocabulary that would be used in Japanese. And it's also a bit colorful inside. Sometimes there are some pictures and it's a bit yellow and blue like the cover. So I'm very happy to get into that in, I don't know, a few weeks or something, because as I told you, I have a lot of books already and I will show them all to you when I'm back in Germany, I guess, because my mom was also nice enough to take a few back home already, so I don't have to carry as much. But yeah, it's probably one of the last books I will be buying, except for if I have more space when I'm packing my suitcase to leave. Maybe I will also get some new textbooks, but I'm very unsure about, and I think I will just decide it in June probably what else I still want to buy. And yesterday, after picking up the book, we also went to Starbucks, so my boyfriend and me, and I really missed that because we always study together every Friday after school for a few hours in a cafe. So we were able to pick up that ritual again, which feels very comforting. And I continued actually my Gogo Nihon N3 course, which I paused before coming to Japan, so I didn't look at it for 7 months approximately, but it was fairly easy to get back into. And yeah, now I have to think about my own study schedule again after not having to think about it for 6 months because someone else decided it for me. But I'm very happy to be fully in control again for my own, studies and what I want to learn and how I want to spend my time. So I will have to think about how I will structure my further studies, and I will talk more about that in my next video, which is about my Q2 goals. I know it's a bit late, but who cares? And if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe, and if you liked the video, also give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye bye!